Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Frost Flower from Karry Heun. Well, today is a rather cold December, we're early mid December, um, and I was, looking at some things, and I'm like, oh, this would be a perfect one to do. So, first step, and I had to catch myself because it's not an asterisk, which is where an asterisk is where I do a cross and then cross the cross is how I usually say it. This one is not that way. So I'm going to just draw a line, and this is probably the most challenge that I have with it is because I like the asterisk because it's easy to subdivide those spaces. But when I have to kind of put two in one, it's just, I don't know, I just one of those take a deep breath and go. All right, so I just draw a straight line wherever, and then trying to picture, okay, well, let's because I'm not doing it here, so it's, what would that be, like about a third of the way or something, or it's just guess. Just just put a line, crossing it sort of, crossing at an angle, and then cross it again. And you know what? If the sections aren't perfectly even, it is quite all right. Because if you've ever watched frost, develop on a windshield, for instance, and actually that was part of what inspired me. I have a Facebook group called Tangles Everywhere, and it's where we find tangles in their natural state, is what I call it. So things that have inspired tangles, or that go, oh hey, that looks like, and then fill in the blank tangle. So this happened to be posted within the last couple days, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go find that tangle. So, and let's do it. So, to me again, that was the most difficult part, which doesn't, which means that, hey, this is a pretty good tangle. It's easy. All right. So once you have your spokes down, and again, however big or small you want them, then it's just a matter of auraing. And if you don't know, to aura is essentially to outline. What we're going to do is pick a spoke. And so I'm picking this one right here, and I'm going to aura that one. And it's just, again, just drawing some straight lines. And what I'm going to do is I'm working my way down this, so down the spoke to the right of it, we'll say. Now, I imagine, if you started, going the other direction, just be consistent all the way around. So the way I'm doing it, like we'll talk about it when I change, because I want to show you one thing. Something you can add in here, like I just did, you put a little gap in here and there. We call that the sparkle. Also, these edges don't have to line up or anything. It's however you want, which is perfect for Zentangle, because it's just sometimes nice to not have to worry about such things. With that too, because I know a lot that feel like their hands are either hands are shaky, or they're just like, I'm not very good at drawing straight lines. That's okay too. What I'm doing is I'm using kind of a light touch instead of a deliberate. Let me show the example of that. So, here's just kind of light touch where it's bouncing versus, putting my pen down extra deliberately and making, a little bit thicker line. You can see the difference. So I like to do that at times, especially if I'm drawing a lot of lines. Helps with if you have, like I do a lot of times, have the death grip on the pen as if it's going to run away or something. And so we're working down that line. This can be, whatever lengths, making it jagged. Take a look at the For More Inspiration link in the description section, because there I have a link to, it's the Tangles pattern link, and there you will find some really nice samples, and it might give you some other ideas, especially about maybe combining them. Because of this, I'm just doing what we would call a monotangle. It's just this one tangle on the tile, and that's it. Actually, I could call it like a singular monotangle, because I could do multiples of these on the same tile, and I could probably call it the same. I think my biggest challenge is making sure that I hit that line as I'm working down it. And what's nice is you can just lose yourself in this. You don't have to think anymore about it than just, oh, look at me drawing some straight lines here. Oh, another one. Oh, I'm just going to start wherever, try not to think about it, and just keep going. And if some of them are closer together than others, that's okay too. Again, my biggest thing is, okay, start wherever and then land. Now, one thing I didn't try was doing it the opposite way. And I probably won't do it now since I've done all of these this way. You could start from here and go out, is what I'm thinking. I might have to try that sometime, because then if you kind of lift up at the end, like so, then it kind of, as I'm doing it right now, well, see, then I'm going a little bit too long, because I kind of have, you get your pattern here, and just stay with it, because then we have that consistency. And you know, one of those, if we have nothing else, if we do some things consistently, then that adds to the result that we have. So I know, like a lot of people, we call them happy accidents. Something kind of goes awry, and you know, then in either in that oopsie, when we follow it consistently, I have to believe that there are some tangles that were created from that. But it's just a matter of just keeping going, and don't worry about it. Have fun. All right, now if you don't have to add shading. That looks kind of cool. And if, say, you did it in, maybe a blue or something, or do it on a darker tile, you could have a lot of fun with it. If you want to add some shading, though, I'm thinking the best way is where the ends, are against that line. So at that point, and that's a nice standard point if you find yourself having a challenge deciding where to even start with shading. This is a good place to start, wherever you have lines like that. So we have them coming in here, and what would we call it? A perpendicular, right? I hope so. Where this looks like it's kind of going underneath, and it's just a great way to add some shading. And so then I'm taking the tortilla and I'm just going to bring it out a little bit. And then sometimes I'm doing this just because I want it to be kind of jagged. I don't want to have necessarily that line, because then it looks like it's very curved. But just bringing it out a little bit. I'm going to do this. I'm going to look in the camera as I'm doing it, because sometimes it looks different. Yeah, because see, isn't that interesting? So this is without doing that. It just has a different look. And honestly, it depends on what you want. Do a couple more, yeah. And then, I'm continually amazed with the shading. I will never, I don't think ever, be so used to doing this where where I'm not marveling at the shading and that I'm doing this. So, it's just so neat. To me, what's interesting about this one, gosh, that almost looks like, I'm thinking, I don't know if there's the right term or not. And where's this one that I want to do that? It's backwards in my thing. I think a wood carving, and actually, it kind of looks like wood, a little bit, just because of the way I have the lines. So what's neat is, because, yes, it's called frost flower. Yes, you can make it look like, frost on glass, but at the same time, it can look like something completely different. I'm picturing, gosh, if I did that, and maybe even if I wanted to do color in some browns, if I wanted to have it, look kind of wood grain, I kind of have that. How neat. So versatile. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, share. Would love to have you as a subscriber to the channel. That, of course, is free. And in the description section, besides the step out links, are links to connect with me if you'd like to. If you want to join me for an online class, I do them weekly. and then some. Most of them are free, and some are paid. And I would love to have you join us sometime. And let's see, yeah, other links, of course, are there. If you go to the channel homepage, there's links to, let's say, my Pinterest and Instagram and all of that kind of stuff. That's also on my website. That's listed below. All right. Thanks again so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.